Good morning. Welcome to LIU's Learn On webinar series. My name is Valerie Lill. I'm the Assistive Technology Trainer and Consultant with Lincoln Intermediate Unit. This morning's topic that I'm going to discuss is AT for Academics iPad apps. If you're a member of the LIU Assistive Technology network that I run, this was actually our scheduled topic for March, which ended up being canceled because our schools were closed. Then I had rescheduled this as our assistive technology networking meeting topic for April, which also because of schools being closed and being virtual got canceled. So I decided to offer a shortened version of the same presentation as a webinar instead. So it could be useful for those Assistive Technology Network members and anyone else. This slide, if you've attended our webinars in the past, you'll see there are a set of standard slides, and I'm going to go over in the beginning, and then my slides about the topic will be shared, and the slide deck was just sent, shared in the chat link, and it will be on the LIU website later. So this is the listing of our team. These are all the folks who are providing the technology, who are doing the LearnOn website and offering the webinars. And here's my contact information at the very bottom right. Some meeting norms for our webinars. You'll notice that this is a little bit different of maybe than some other Zooms you've been in, as your chat, microphone, and camera are disabled. That's typically due to the size of attendees. Now this is a smaller group this morning, but those are still disabled at this time. There is a Q&A at the bottom that you can use to post questions, but just know that your questions and responses are visible to every attendee in the group. Excuse me. There is the option of raising your hand if you'd like to use the microphone. However, you can certainly ask any questions in the Q&A. And also remember, don't leave before you complete your Act 48 link, which will be shared at the end of the webinar. LIU 12 resources, again, that Act 48 credit at the very end of the webinar. If you haven't taken one of our LearnOn webinars before, you're going to be redirected to a Google survey to complete, and you need your PPID in order to get the Act 48 credits. Again, this is only for Pennsylvania teachers. There are all of our webinars. The videos along with the slide decks are archived. So if you can't attend one live or in person, you always have the option of watching them at a later time and accessing the slide deck that way. And there is the link to do that. And it is also on the LearnOn page. So our resource site, there it is, learnon.iu12.org. And on this site is also a link to the webinar archives. We need to think about changing our expectations for online learning. I'm sure a lot of you are already deep into the online learning, as a lot of districts have started that a couple weeks ago now. One thing to remember is continuity of education. That is a district decision. Some are just doing review and enrichment activities. Others are offering new instruction. And your district would have advised you which approach you're using. Something important, again, as the AT person who works with special education teachers and students, free appropriate public education, FAPE still applies to all online instruction. So we need to consider if the school's providing services to those general ed teachers and general ed population, we need to ensure that our kids with disabilities have equal access to the same opportunities. And a lot of my AT webinars that I've been providing are showing you some resources that can help your students with disabilities have equal access. Couple other things to note: less is more. We need to prioritize and balance the information we're providing. And again, that's one reason our webinars are not hour-long trainings. They're 15, 20, 30 minutes, absolutely max, is because we're trying to prioritize information and get it to you in a short format. Video is a very useful tool for online learning. It's really important to see your face. I know my son, his school's been doing some live Zooms, and it's great for him to see the teacher's face and to see his peers. But the big thing, limit that length of video. A good rule of thumb is the age of students is the number of minutes max. So if you're doing kindergarten, 6 minutes, you know, for your 6-year-olds is as long as a video should be. I know my own son, he's 13. He had to watch a 42-minute video the other day and was not too happy about it. Be clear in your expectation. And this is important in any instruction, but especially online learning, because there isn't that face-to-face piece where they can directly speak with you and ask questions. Have clear objectives and expectations for your students so they know what they're supposed to be doing. Give them an idea of the time to complete a task. Again, thinking of your students with learning disabilities or some other special needs, it may take them longer to complete a task than your peers that are not identified. And as always, it's important to organize and sequence instruction. So the webinar outcomes for today is I'm going to talk to you about some free and some paid iPad apps that can support students' needs in the areas of AT for academics. And I'm going to get into that a little bit more, but yes, some of these are paid, some of them are free, some of them are free that have a paid component that offers more features. So I just wanted to do a quick slide on what is assistive technology, because a lot of people think of assistive technology and they think of kids who use communication devices, which is absolutely true. They think of students who have physical disabilities. Again, also true. They think of students with severe cognitive impairments. Again, also true. So we a lot of times think of kids with the more significant disabilities when we think of assistive technology. However, assistive technology is absolutely appropriate for kids with things like learning disabilities and some of the resources or written expression difficulties, fine motor deficits. We don't think of these kids quite as often when it comes to AT. However, the resources I'm showing in today's webinar are going to be appropriate for those kind of kids. But by definition, it's anything that is improving functional capabilities or maintaining or improving the abilities of a child with a disability. And again, including those with learning disabilities. And there's the resource for that definition. I do want to add that AT is obviously designed for students with identified disabilities, students with IEPs. However, some of these tools could certainly be useful in an online learning environment for your gen ed students, students without disabilities. So that's just something else to consider. So the resources I'm going to show are to support your AT for academics. I'm going to talk, sorry, those both flew on very quickly. I'm going to talk about some AT for literacy, AT for written expression, AT for the fine motor aspects of writing. So think your kids with those who have OT services. And these are also going to be iPad apps for AT for math. And I know math is kind of one of the areas of AT people don't think about too often. Excuse me. So I'm going to talk about some iPad apps in all 4 of those areas today. I'm going to start with AT for literacy. Now, if you've attended any of my previous webinars, there may be some repeat because I am going to talk about a resource that I may have shared one way, and now I'm going to share it as an iPad app because some of the resources I shared before maybe were an online resource, but they happen to be also available via on iPads. So if you attended my presentation or watched it on digital and audiobooks, I did talk about Epic. Epic is free, and it's free. It has digital and audio nonfiction and fiction books. Now, it is available as a website that you can access, but it also is an option as an iPad app. And I really like Epic. These are all hyperlinks. If you click on where the blue links are, these are all hyperlinks, and something they are offering, they're offering parents a free 30-day trial due to the COVID-19, and Epic is also offering free remote student access at this current time. So those are 2 things to note. Now, it's always free for teachers. But again, knowing that it's free for parents is very helpful. And again, Epic has a searchable, I'm not going to go into it too much because again, I talked about it already, but it's searchable. It has a lot of different books, and even for your L's, it has different languages available. Again, it's available online as a website, but it also has the option of an iPad app, which is why I included that here. Same with Speechify. If you attended my AT for Literacy presentation on some free resources to support AT specifically for literacy, I did mention Speechify. There's a full subscription for $140 a year. However, I obviously don't expect anyone to necessarily use that. However, the free version of the app still has several options. You can scan and import and use speech to text on the free version. And one thing I do like about Speechify, it has good voice quality. So again, you can use your iPad camera and take a picture of something, and Speechify can do a speech to text option for your kids. So those two are ones I have covered in previous webinars. Prismo Go is not something I've discussed before. It is an iPad. It has, of course, a free version and a paid version. And the free version is allows you to scan and play documents. So basically what you can do is take a picture of something with text on it, and it'll read it to you. So if it's a page of a book, if it's a worksheet, whatever, if you take a picture of it with the built-in camera in the iPad, Prismo Go, the free version, will read it out loud to you. However, I'm going to say it does have a robotic voice quality, where Speechify is a pretty good voice quality. Prismo Go is a little bit like a robot reading to you. So that's just something to consider. But again, you're in a pinch and a kid can't read a page of a book or a worksheet, you take a picture of it with your iPad, use Prismo Go, it'll read it out loud to them. So those are the AT for Literacy iPad apps that I'm going to discuss. I'm going to move on to AT for Written Expression. Excuse me. One thing that they have is, and I will note, I didn't mention this, and because our AT Lending Library is obviously currently closed, but just for future reference, all of the apps I'm discussing with you are available to borrow within the AT Lending Library iPads. So that's just something to consider looking ahead to next school year, when hopefully we're back in regular face-to-face instruction, that you could borrow, if you want to try any of these apps, even the paid ones, they are available on the AT Lending Library iPads. So there are alternative keyboards that are available for free. Grammarly, some of you may be familiar with already. There is a Grammarly keyboard you can install for free onto iPad apps that will have some of those same features that are available with Grammarly, such as your helping with grammar, written expression, again, correcting spelling, correcting word choice, grammar, those kind of things. And there's also, Google also has a Gboard, it's called. They have an alternative keyboard available for free download on iPad apps. And it's very easy to toggle back and forth between keyboards. And that's something you can Google. I'm not going to get into how to do that right now, but it's very easy to do. When I talked about AT for Literacy last week in my webinar, I talked about the Clicker products, which are made by Crick Software. So I'm not going to get into a lengthy discussion on the Clicker products, as I covered that in a previous webinar. However, Click Writer and Doc Plus are available. They do have a free trial, and these are AT that support written expression. Clicker is available just like Epic. It's on a lot of different formats. You can get it on Chrome. You can get it on an iPad app. It has different options for installing it. But again, if you're working with a family that's using an iPad for the online instruction, Clicker products may be an option you wish to consider. Another area that can help written expression, of course, are the use of graphic organizers. Poplet is a graphic organizer iPad app. There's a free version, Poplet Lite. It can do obviously all the same functions, but if you're looking for a digital graphic organizer, and I have a hyperlink there to get some information so you can see what Poplet is, that is an option you may wish to consider. So those are the AT for written expression iPad apps. This is not meant to be a comprehensive list. I'm just trying to show you a few different options. AT for your fine motor aspects of writing. So your kids who have, and you can see by the picture, the kids who have difficulty with letter formation, who may receive occupational therapy services. One that I like that is free, there is a paid version, but the free version lets you save up to three different docs, is SnapType. Basically what SnapType does is you take a picture of, for example, a worksheet. This is for kids who maybe can't write on a typical worksheet or fill out a graphic organizer. They could take a picture with their iPad of the worksheet, and then using SnapType, they are able to type directly on the document. I worked with a student several years ago who used SnapType for every single worksheet and graphic organizer that they did at school. He took a picture of it, he typed on it because he had issues with sizing, spacing, and handwriting. He was not able to write on them legibly. And then he was able to upload it and to his teacher's Google Drive or email it to the teacher. And that's how he submitted all of his worksheets. So again, there's a free version of SnapType. The other three are available on our AT Learning Library iPads, but they do cost money. Dexteria, Ready to Print, and I Write Words. Dexteria works on some fine motor skills. Ready to Print and I Write Words are obviously to help kids with their handwriting skills, but they are not free. AT for math, iPad apps is certainly not things people think of very often. I did cover the digital math manipulatives were covered in a previous webinar on math, but some of the digital math manipulatives are available, for example, on a computer. There are two that I want to share that are available for free to download to iPad apps. Math Learning Center apps. Again, Math Learning Center, you can also get on your computer as a digital math manipulative where you can click and drag, but it is also available as an iPad app. So if you have kids who need Unifix cubes at home, for example, it has, I'm going to just click on that very quickly. Fractions, Geoboard, math clock, money, number pieces, number lines, number rack. Again, there's a whole bunch of different options and they are free, which is great. School Kit Math is one that is also available that are digital math manipulatives. Again, I have a link there to it. And you can see some of the things it has: arrays, fractions, hundreds charts, money, lots of different options. But if you have a kid who's using an iPad at home for their online learning instruction and you need digital math manipulatives, here are two options that I would recommend. One thing, this has come up, math problem solvers, I'm going to share two. This has come up, actually, I've seen even just on my personal Facebook news feed, people like, oh, I can't help my kid with their math homework. They don't have the right answer, but they don't know how to solve it. You know, I haven't taken advanced math in 25 years. You know, for me to try to solve high school math might be a little out of my comfort zone at this time. However, there are online math problem solvers. These are apps. Basically, Photomath does what it says. You take a picture of the math problem, it's going to show you a step-by-step way to solve it, and it is free. And it does work. I was trying this before school closed when I was preparing for my AT network meeting. I was trying it. You take a picture of it and it tells you step-by-step how to solve the math problem. SnapCalc and Y Homework do a similar thing. SnapCalc charges for a full version, but the free version will do that also. So again, thinking of your higher level math students, this is very helpful maybe to share with parents. You know, the kids may be doing some math homework on their own and they're struggling, they need help. You may want to consider just snapping a picture of it with your iPad or iPhone, downloading a Photomath app, take a picture of it. It'll help the student know how to solve the problem, especially if their teacher is not readily available. If you have any questions about the content of this presentation or any other AT questions, here's my contact information, my phone number. I do try to post on Twitter every day some sort of AT resource. And there's my Zoom room. I am having office hours this morning from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. if you want to discuss any of these iPad apps or any of the content I discussed in any of my other webinars. The schedule of our learning webinars for this week is available on our LearnOn website. You can see the yellow highlighted box indicates where it is. And please fill out, in addition to filling out your Act 48 form, please fill out our LearnOn web evaluation, because that's very helpful in knowing topics you may be interested for other webinars, or just feedback for myself on this webinar, what I can do to help you have a better experience with our webinars. Thank you so much for joining me this morning and learning about some apps for the iPad or iPhone that are available to help support students who have needs in the area of AT for academics. I hope you have a wonderful day.